Hello, and welcome back to Coachable Moments. I've got a really good topic to talk to you about today, and it's something that anybody can identify with, regardless of where you live, how you were brought up, what your race or nationality is. This particular topic is going to be one that pretty much anyone can identify with. So today's topic is titled, When Times Get Rough. And I want you to think about that for a moment, because pretty much anybody on the planet can identify with a period of life where things were just not going as they wanted it to go. You may just be faced with some challenges that you didn't expect to pop up at this particular time of your life, or you may know someone that's, always going through a rough patch. And the goal for this conversation today is to provide some resources, or just a different train of thought to help those in this particular need. So I want to start off by first letting you know that you're one of the most amazing creations on this planet and in the entire universe. And you possess one of the greatest innovations of all times, and that is your brain, the human brain, with the right programming, with the right mindset, the right train of thought. You have the capability of exceeding any limits that have been placed on you from birth until now. You have that capacity to exceed anything that you may have thought you could have achieved. And I just wanted to deposit that into your brain before we get started into this conversation. So today I want to more so focus on how your brain works during those times that you may be facing a struggle moment, or as I like to call it, those valley moments, and then offer another option that will help you advance through those rough times in a fraction of the time. So it's not that you go through those dark times. What really matters is how long you stay in that train of thought, or in that mindset, or in that particular stage of your life. Because it's really all about mindset, and you have that creative power to pull yourself out of it. But you have to know how to activate that part of your brain. So we're going to dive into that for just a moment. So the first thing I want to bring out is the problem with those valley moments is that we become consumed with them. Everywhere we go, everything that we see is dark, because we are not in a space of joy. We may not feel creative or innovative to create a better way for ourselves at that particular time. One of the reasons why is because you don't know how to get out of the situation. And another reason that you become consumed at that particular time is that, those particular moments are so uncomfortable that it's a shock to your system. To be at this particular stage of your life, it's not what you saw your life becoming. And the sheer fact that you're in this stage right now, it's so overwhelming because you didn't see yourself get here, and you may not understand how to get out of it. One thing that I realized is that when a person is going through a rough patch, their focus becomes the rough patch. And as a result, all you think about is how miserable you are at the present time. And your present state overshadows anything that you've gone through in the past, and you can't focus on the future. You're stuck in the present to only focus on the things that are going wrong in your life. You may have positive people around you, telling you that everything will be okay, And we've all heard those phrases, weeping may endure for a night, etc. And when you're going through that, you don't want to hear that though. You want some relief. And when you're going through that dark moment, you're in such a negative space that you don't want to hear anything positive. You just want a resolution. You want things to be different, and you just want that moment to be over. But I'll tell you, the brain has so much ability, but we have not yet learned how to move to a higher level within the framework of our own mind. And I'll give you this example. When a person asks for patience, you'll be given events that cause stress and pressure because there has to be a space created, that warrants the need for you to be patient. And so if you think about that for a moment, it'll really make some sense to you. If you ask for patience, you're going to be given challenging events that will make you create patience. It's all coming from the capacity that you have within. And if you think about it, why would you need patience? If there were if your life was on autopilot and you had nothing that was causing you to be uneasy, you have no need for patience at that point. But if you are going through some challenging moments, you definitely need patience so that you can get out of those tough times. I shared with a friend recently my theory about the bookshelf. And if you think about it for a moment, if you can imagine, being in your home office or your study or whatever, we all have had that, 5 or 6 shelf bookcase from that bookshelf from IKEA or Rooms to Go or whoever you shop with. And each of these shelves, in my mind, I created a thought of which level am I on in my thinking? And particularly when you go through those dark moments, your brain, in my mind, is on the bottom shelf. You can't think on a higher level because you're so heavy. You're weighted down. You're on the very bottom of that shelf. I remember going through my own dark time, and after I got out of it, one of the things that I thought about was like, why did it take me so long to get through that? And all I had to do was change my mind or change the way I saw things. And so what I do now when those times come around, because they still come back even to me and people that may be seen as successful, we still have our own challenges to deal with. So what I do, in my mental and my spiritual is I'll go in and I'll put my brain on a higher shelf. And I like to be on top, so I put my brain at the very top of the shelf, and I'll start thinking about what kind of thoughts will I need to have if I'm going to be a top shelf thinker. One of the key trains of thought that you need to have is a spirit of gratitude. So when I'm going through all of my tough times, my challenging moments, I'll pause. I'll put myself on timeout, and I'll think about all of the things that I have to be grateful for. I give God thanks for my own life and the ability to do for myself, to put on my own clothes and, the gift of waking up. And I thank God for my children, my grandson. I thank God for my parents, my sister, all of my friends and my peers, and just that train of thought will release a different chemical. You immediately feel better because instead of focusing on everything that's going wrong, you start to focus on everything that's going right. And just that shift in your thinking will allow my brain to feel like it's in its proper place of being on that top shelf. So, if we're in a place where we're asking for faith, you're going to be presented with circumstances that's going to cause you to waver in order for you to develop and exercise the faith that you say you wanted. If you were not presented with those times of uncertainty and doubt, you really don't need faith. I mean, why have it if everything is going well, right? So think about it. If you're presented with some rough times, it's simply an opportunity to exercise the free will that exists within your brain. You have the freedom to choose how you're going to react. And at that moment, you need to fast forward your thinking so that you can see yourself in a victorious state. You know, you can't just look at yourself, oh, I'm having a tough time right now. You've got to see yourself on the other side of the problem that you're experiencing today. You've got to be able to see yourself, you know, a week from now or 3 weeks from now or whatever the case may be, that you're seeing yourself on the other side of it in a more victorious state. So instead of focusing on the present, you've got to look forward. You've got to have a vision and be able to see yourself as having already won that current battle that you're facing. And, you know, when I did that and I had that epiphany that the time period that I stay in this dark spot is really up to me. I realized that we are so much stronger than anything that comes our way. But you've got to exercise the ability and the tremendous power that exists within your own mind. You know, you have an amazing creation right between your ears, and you've got to learn how to use it. This particular creation that you were blessed with can't be duplicated. You have a one-of-a-kind treasure right between your ears, and all you have to do is learn to use it and see those tough times in the right perspective. They're only a test. You know, it's only a test. And it's a test that's it's no competition. The test that you're facing is nothing compared to the power that dwells within your mind. So take this as food for thought. Be blessed. And I'll see you next time on Coachable Moments. We'll talk later.